What's up guys, Funape here. Now, it's time to bring back the Best Team series. It's been a little while since I've made one of these, and I want to get back into it. So, I'm going over the best team for Pokemon Black and White 2. For those who don't know what a best team is, a best team is what I believe is statistically the best team to use in a specific Pokemon game. And I've done every Pokemon game up until Black and White. So, I'm now doing Black and White 2. I'm going to be going over what I believe is the best moveset and what the best Pokemon are available at that time, if I'm honest. I will also provide you where the location of the Pokemon is, how to evolve it, where to find a specific item, or how to evolve it, and also going to provide you what I believe is the best possible moveset. I'm going to include every single thing that's possible up until the end of the game. So nothing beyond the post game is valid. I'm going to be doing everything in the main story. Meaning, I'm going to be also going over the move tutor moves, which are a bit of a pain to learn to your Pokemon because you need to hunt for shards, but they are still very worth it. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to be going over those. Be sure to let me know down in the comment section below if you enjoyed this video as much as I did making it, if you agree with this best team, if you have your own idea for a best team, and if you have any video suggestions for the future, be sure to let me know down in the comment section below. So without further ado, let's get into the video! In case you weren't around for my best team for Black and White, I decided to choose Tepig for that one. Unfortunately, it isn't going to be the choice I pick for this one, because of one very minor flaw. It's harder to find a water-type Pokemon in this game. Like, you can't really get it that easily, because by the time you get Surf, you need a water-type Pokemon, and the only other Pokemon that can learn Surf is Stoutland. And I personally don't want to use Stoutland because there are a lot better options. And also, don't forget, the last team I did, for the water-type, I did Caracosta. But unfortunately, we can't get Caracosta through the same means in this game. So, I have to pick the water-type option in this game, that being Oshawott. And then, eventually, it will turn into Samurott. Samurott is a very powerful Pokemon. Like, water types are definitely necessary for a main series game. So, I would highly recommend picking Samurott for this reason and the reasons I just mentioned earlier. It is a very powerful option, and it can tank quite a lot of important characters. The moveset I gave Samurott is a tiny bit basic, but it is still very viable. The moveset I gave Samurott is Surf, Waterfall, Mega Horn, and Ice Beam. Surf and Waterfall are there for both stab, and also you can get around the region with them. Surf is, well, very important, as is Waterfall. For Mega Horn and Ice Beam, they're just coverage moves because, you know, it's kind of weak to grass. Mega Horn you get from a Heart Scale reminder the second it Duat evolves into Samurott, and Ice Beam you get as a TM when you go through that cave when you fight Kyurem and Ghetsis. With this moveset, Samurott is good against Berg's Dwebble, Clay's team, Drayden's team if you get Blizzard before you get Ice Beam, Hugh's team except for Bouffalont, Zinzalin and Weavile, Chorus's Behem, the Shadow Triad's Absol, Ghetsis Hydreigon, Chantal's team apart from Cothagrigus, Grimsley's Liepard and Crocodile, Caitlyn's team, and Iris's Dragon types and Archeops. I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but trust me, Samurott is your best option. We need a water type, and there are no other water type options. So, you're better off going with Samurott. Since we don't have Emboar anymore, we need another fighting type to take its place. And I know the perfect one in mind. It's literally one of the very first fighting types that you can obtain in the game. If you haven't guessed by now, I'm talking about Lucario. A fighting type is definitely necessary for this game. So is a steel type, so I decided to get both. Plus, Lucario is a very powerful Pokemon. It has a very wide move pool, its stats are incredible, and you can get it extremely early in the game. Not to mention, the very first gym leader that we face is a normal type user. Riolu is a fighting type, and you get it at Flockacy Ranch. Yes, its encounter rate is a tiny bit low, but once you find it, it is worth it, because then you'll have a very powerful Pokemon. The best move it can get at this point in the game would probably be Counter, unless you really want to be that guy and over-level your Riolu just to get Force Palm and ease the gym battle. But either way, Riolu is a very powerful Pokemon, and to get it into Lucario, all you need to do is get Max Friendship on it, and it's quite easy to do, because in Castelia City, which is the third gym, you can find the Soothe Bell, and that is very useful to max out its friendship. So all you need to do, max out its friendship during the day, level it up, you got a Lucario, and then you'll have a very powerful Pokemon on your team. Lucario's moveset's going to be quite interesting. We're going to be kicking things off with Sword Stance, which powers up all physical attacks. For its stab moves, it's actually going to be quite interesting. First off, for its Steel type, we've got Metal Claw, because that's literally all I can teach it. Apart from Iron Tail, but I personally do not want to teach it Iron Tail because it has fewer accuracy points than Metal Claw. For its fighting stab, I would recommend one of 3 moves, that being Brick Break, Close Combat, or Aura Sphere. It depends on which you prefer. Close Combat I can learn by level up. Brick Break is a TM that you can get either at the Pokemon World Tournament or in the Battle Subway. And Aura Sphere is something that it learns at level 60, I believe. So you'll be waiting a while, but it is worth it. And for its final moveset, I'm going to teach it Ice Punch for coverage against ground types. If you're wondering where to get Ice Punch, you get it at the Drift Veil move tutor, I believe. And there's actually a place where you can get 10 red shards on the dot. So all you need to do is get them, show Lucario, teach it Ice Punch, and it's good to go. With this moveset, Lucario is good against Charon's team, Clay's team, Skylar's Swoobat, Drayden's team, Hugh's team apart from Simisear, Rud's team, Zinzalin's team, Chorus's Steel types, the Shadow Triad's Dark types, Gets's Hydreigon, Chantal's Drifblim, Grimsley's team, Caitlyn's Sigilith, and Iris's whole team. That's right, Lucario can solo Iris's whole team. And that's partly the reason why I made it on this list. Since I'm also missing Emboar, I'm going to need a fire type. And since Magmortar is a version exclusive, unfortunately, I have to pick the next best thing. And thankfully, I'm not picking Simisear or Heatmore, because those things are utter crap. That said, I am going to be picking one of the best fire types in the game, that being Arcanine. If Magmortar was not a version exclusive, it would have been here. But since it's a version exclusive, and I want to make this team one that you can be played on all games, I decided to put Arcanine here instead. Still, Arcanine is a very powerful Pokemon. Its stats are amazing, speed's incredible, and has a wide diverse move pool. If you're wondering where to find Arcanine, you get it as a Growlithe. And if you want to know where to get Growlithe, it's in the Verbank Complex. It's pretty easy to find, you can't miss it. For Arcanine's moveset, I decided to give it Flamethrower, which is a move that it learns while it's still a Growlithe. So I would recommend keeping it as a Growlithe until it learns Flamethrower. Then use the Firestone that is a hidden item in the Desert Resort, then evolve it straight away. For its other moves, I decided to give it Thunderfang, which is a move that it also learns as an Arcanine by Heart Reminder, so that'll be a good coverage for water types. I also decided to give it Dragon Pulse because I need a bit more coverage in case I find any other dragon types I find in the game. It is done by a shard exchange, so all you need to do is save up on shards, and then eventually you'll get enough for Dragon Pulse. And for its final move, I decided to give it Bulldoze for coverage against rock types, or rock types that also have the added bonus of being a ground type. This way, you'll be able to do quite a lot of damage, and Arcanine will be able to outspeed. Bulldoze you get after you beat Clay, so as soon as you beat Clay, chuck it on. With this moveset, Arcanine is good against Roxy's Whirlipede, Berg's Swadloon and Leavanny, Clay's Excadrill, but I wouldn't recommend it, Skylar's team, but I wouldn't recommend putting up against Swanna, Drayden's team, Marlin's team, but I highly recommend not using it against Marlin at all, Hugh's team apart from Bouffalont, Red Swoobat, Zinzalon's team, Chorus's Steel type, the Shadow Triads Ponyard and Excelgor, Gets' Hydreigon, Toxicroak and Drapion, Chantal's Driftblim and Chandelure, Grimsley's Bishop, Caitlyn's Sigilith, and Iris's whole team. So as you can see, Arcanine is a very powerful Pokemon. If you want a very strong and very speedy fire type, pick Arcanine, and I promise you, you won't regret it. For the next Pokemon, we're going to need an electric type, because we need something to handle water types as well as flying types. Now, there are quite a lot of good electric type options, but I think I've come up with the best one. It is a little harder to get than the others, but it's probably the most powerful. That being Jolteon. Like I said, it's probably the hardest one to get because you need to find Eevee. And Eevee can only be found at New Castelia, which is, well, you go through the Castelia sewers and eventually find yourself in New Castelia. And then you have to search around the grass until you find an Eevee. And from my experience, finding an Eevee is a massive pain in the arse. But once you find one, it is probably the most helpful Pokemon here. Like, all you need to do is get a Thunderstone, whack it on, you've got a Jolteon. For Jolteon's moveset, I'm actually going to be keeping it a little basic. Thunderbolt and Thunder for stab. Thunderbolt can be found at Victory Road after you beat Hugh, so use Discharge until you get Thunderbolt. Thunder you get when you go to Lacanosa Town and talk to the Poke Mark Clerk. Then add Rain Dance to it, and you can add Shadow Ball to it. Rain Dance you get from the Mistralton Pokemart Clerk, and for Shadow Ball you get it behind the Haunted House in Lentimus Town. With this moveset, Jolteon is good against Skylar's team, Marlin's team, Hugh's Unpheasant, Rude Swoobat, Chorus's Metang and Behem, the Shadow Triad's Bayonet, Gets' Cofagrigus, Chantal's team, Caitlyn's team, and Iris's Lapras. For the fifth member of the team, we're going to need a flyer, because let's be honest, no one wants to walk around the region. So, I'm going to go with what I believe is the best flyer of all. That being Sigilith. In this game, Sigilith is by far the best flyer. Because Swoobat is crap, Unpheasant is crap, Swanna is crap. So, in my opinion, Sigilith's your next best bet. If you want to find a Sigilith, you're gonna need to go to the desert resort, wander around a bit, and then eventually you'll find a Sigilith. And you'll probably have one of the greatest flyers in all of the game. Even though its uses are very few. For Sigilith's moveset, I went with Fly because, you know, we need to fly around the region. I cannot remember off the top of my head where it is, but I do know that an important trainer does give it to you. So, just wait about and eventually an important trainer will give it to you. Its next two moves are Psychic and Air Slash. Both of them can be learnt from level up, and its final move is Shadow Ball, which I've already gone over where to get. With this moveset, Sigilith is good against Hugh Superior, the Shadow Triads Excelgor, Gets' Cofagrigus and Toxicroak, Chantal's team, Grimsley Scrafty, Caitlyn's team, and Marshall's team. As you can see, Sigilith's kind of there just to take on the Elite Four. Doesn't really shine too many other places, but I would still recommend having it because having a Psychic and Flying type is very strong. For the final Pokemon, I decided to add a Dragon type because there are a lot more Dragon type users in this game, so I feel like it makes sense to have a Dragon type to take care of these kind of situations. And I definitely found the best dragon type to use, because it's the earliest and it has one of the most powerful type combinations. That being Flygon. Flygon can be found as early as from the Desert Resort as a Trapinch, or as late as a Vibrava once you leave Misrolton City. I personally would say get it at Desert Resort. It will be a pain in the ass, but it's worth it, because then you have a lot more uses for it. Flygon is a very broken Pokemon, and if you get it at Desert Resort, you have a counter for Elisa, because let's be honest, Elisa is a massive pain in the ass. For Flygon's moveset, I decided to go with Dragon Claw and Earth Power for stab, and also can both be learnt by level up. Giga Drain as coverage, that can also be taught as a Shard Shooter move. And for its final moveset, I decided to go with Rock Slide, which you can also learn by level up. With this moveset, Flygon is good against Elisa's team, Clay's Excadrill, Skylar's Swoobat and Swanna, Drayden's team, Marlin's team, Hugh's Unpheasant and Simisear, Rud's Swoobat, Zinzalon's team, but I wouldn't recommend it, the Shadow Triad's Pawniard, Colress's Steel types, Gets' Seismitoad, Drapion, Toxicroak and Hydreigon, Sean Toll's team apart from Coffagrigus, Grinsley's Crocodile and Bishop, Caitlyn's Sigilith, and Iris's whole team. And there you have it, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video as much as I did. Be sure to let me know down in the comment section below if you enjoyed this video as much as I did making it, if you like this best team, what you would change around, and if you have any video suggestions for the future, be sure to let me know down in the comment section below. Did you enjoy the video as much as I did making it? If you did, be sure to give it a massive thumbs up, comment down below, share this video with a friend, and if you're new, subscribe to my channel. It's been Inferno today. Okay, that's all for me, so until next time, this is Infernate, signing off. Bye!